his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
Yo, what is going on, Philly? We are back. We are back with Jump on Broad. Rich, it's good to have you. Listen, we got a special guest, so we're going to jump right into it, give him his time. We got Big T Will on the line here. Big T Will from the Philly Full Court Press.
Well, what's going on, fellas? Thanks for having me, as always. What's up, Sous Chef?
My brother, what's up, dude? How you
Not
living?
too much. Oh, man, everything's good in Sixer Land, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Listen,
sir.
you had on Sunday, you had the Harden in the Garden. Last night you had the Beard on Broad. Right, we're doing well here. Give me your initial thoughts. First three games: Minnesota, New York.
Well, look, first off, I'm glad it's not going to take till Christmas for these guys to gel. So we've been through that. Rewind. Let's go back to the beginning when we got Tobias Harris. It was going to take time to gel. With 2-5 and Embiid, and then you make the move for Butler. It's going to take till about Christmas. Well, we were like, which Christmas are we talking about? This one or next one?
Right.
So,
the Christmas that never came.
It's Christmas that never came, right? Exactly. So you move forward, and as Sixer fans, all that kind of stuff comes in effect and plays with our minds, and we go back to our history of just bad luck and things that happen. And, last season it continued with the second round exit to the Atlanta Hawks. And you bring in, people are like, well, Daryl Morey, what are you going to do? What's happening? You came in here, you did nothing. And I was preaching since last season. This guy has a plan. He's playing roulette, and he's going to wait for his number. And sure enough, he did. And man, I tell you what, just the feeling and excitement in the city. I've seen people in Sixer gear that I didn't even know watch basketball. So, you start seeing that, fellas. This is something big. This is like T.O., big. Because remember, we were at Wing Bowl and everyone was chanting T.O. and they had T.O. jerseys and nothing was even said yet.
Right.
And it happened. And it was just like that practice in Lehigh was epic. That preseason game against Baltimore was epic. That season was epic. That was probably my favorite season, actually. Even if them winning the championship 2017, I think 04 was probably my favorite. So
that was a ton of fun. But like you look at I think the point that you make earlier, right, is their ability to gel right away, right? That's huge because you see a ton, like even when they brought in Jimmy Butler, right? That didn't mesh right away. Talk about Maxey, because Maxey has been a guy that I've loved to see in these last three games, see his game just kind of elevate.
Maxey is doing exactly what most media members thought Tobias Harris would do. And that would take advantage of having James Harden, a true point guard on the court, to create and give you more space on the floor for your shot. And the only person on the court who's taking advantage of it outside Embiid is Maxey.
Yeah.
And we thought Maxey was quick before. He looks like flash lightning out there now. Like
now he's got space.
It's unreal how fast he looks right now. And it's funny because, we all knew, like I said, we all knew he was quick, but it was like, man, he's got another gear that we never knew he had. Maxey is a star. He's a star right now. And there's no ifs, ands, and buts. And, for having a guy like Harden, a killer, a guy who just wants to win and, be that general on the floor that's been through wars that Embiid hasn't been through is just showing dividends right now with our young squad. you look at like Harden saying to Maxey last night, "Are you going to play tonight?" He had 4 points at halftime, and then he had 21 points in the second half.
Just crazy.
You don't get that kind of coaching from an Embiid. Embiid would probably, oh yeah, come on, Max, let's get going, yada yada. Harden's a different breed, and you got to give props to Daryl Morey for pulling this off, man.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's that analogy of playing. He was playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers.
That's right.
And T-Will, the one I heard you on with Ant one day. The point that you brought up with the assists. That to me is huge.
Yeah, I was talking with Cuz, and it stuck out to me because I mentioned it on my show the night before that, and to have the team to have 58 assists in 2 games is absurd. That means the ball is humming, it's moving around the court, and it's finding the right person, and the Sixers are getting the right shot. And also tells me that they're not stagnant anymore. No one's standing around. Players are moving, players are cutting, because when you cut and you move on the court, the ball will find you.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening right now. So, and listen, you bring a guy who can see the floor. He sees the floor. He's a walking triple-double himself. And he's not no baby 10, 10, and 11. He's giving you 28, 9, and 9. Or 28, 14, and 12.
Right. The grown man triple-doubles. Like the one in New York on Sunday, right? 29, 10, and 16 assists.
16 assists. James Harden has more threes already than what 2-5 had his whole career. He put more assists in one game than what 2-5 put in a week's time sometimes.
Right.
For people to complain about this trade is just absurd.
No, it's great. And if people are complaining about it, they just don't understand basketball, because you essentially traded first-round picks that don't matter because you can't see the future, and then you get rid of Drummond and essentially Seth Curry for Harden. Like, that's perfect. But my question to you, T-Will, my worry going forward is your boy, Mr. Allergic to 30. What do you think is going on with him? Because it's the disappearing act. I understand he's reverting now to, it seems like, the 4th option, which honestly I don't like him being the 4th option, but Maxey's is playing at an all-time high level. What do you think's going on in that guy's head? Like, what do you see?
Allergic to 30 is a professional. I mean, I beat him up because of the contract. Okay. And I beat him up because he has the talent and capability to be that 3rd piece. He's not a 2nd piece.
Agreed.
Now, right now, Maxey's that third wheel, and he is trying to adjust on being the 4th wheel.
Okay.
He will figure it out. That's the one thing I'll give him. He will figure it out. He's going to have one of them epic first halves within the next, let's say, Cavs, Heat, Bulls, right around between the Bulls and the Nuggets game. You're going to see one of them, he came to show up and play type game. And then that's going to get him comfortable. He just has to get comfortable with Harden on the court. And he has to get used to being the number 2 when it's him, Harden, and the Blue Coats. You see what I'm saying? Before it would be him, Embiid, Maxey, and then it would just be Embiid and Maxey, and he's on the bench resting with the Blue Coats with Maxey and Embiid. Now it's flipped. So now it's Harden, allergic to 30, and the Blue Coats, and he's not used to playing that fiddle. He hasn't had to play that fiddle in this type of his career since, early stages of his career. So trust me when I tell you, don't worry about that. He'll figure it out. Will I still kill him? Yes. The reason I kill him is because they need him. Yeah. They need him. So
no, I agree, and that was my thing, because I know in the playoffs, we are going to need Tobias to step up, especially later on in the season when we're making that playoff push to get a higher seed. We're going to need him. So I just don't want to see him disappear. But I think I'm with you. I think he's going to figure it out.
Yeah, he'll figure it out. The one thing that you should be worried about is Glenn Rivers showing up. Not Doc Rivers, Glenn Rivers. Because he put out a lineup last night. Before I go, I'll tell you this. He put out a lineup last night. He had Harden, and it was just like the Brady Bunch on the court. And you're down 16 to the New York Knicks. Now, granted, I didn't panic. I didn't stress about it. The game kind of played out the way I would figure it. Most people who watch the NBA should have figured out, oh, well, Sixers didn't get their legs under them. Sluggish. They just whooped up on his team like before. Expected. Knicks came out hot. Sixers came out missing. Second half changed. That lineup he had on the court, he can't do that.
No.
That's a lineup that the coach has to put out when you're up 20, not down 16. That puts more pressure on Maxey, Harden, Embiid, and Harris to play harder to keep the team in the game until your role players catch fire to give you a little lift to then pass the New York Knicks and, hopefully stretch the lead out in the second half. That puts too much work on your starters. You saw Embiid only had 16 points at half, 18 points, something like that. And he finished the game with 27. So, they had to work harder. Harris got going, though, and that's where Harris came in at. Down, last 2 minutes of the first half, you got a bucket here, bucket there, got the leak out for the layup, then the half, cut the lead into 7. But see how hard they had to work to go from 17 to 7?
Yeah.
And then eventually take the lead. So that's my only concern. Other than that, man, listen, fellas, enjoy the ride. I don't see them losing maybe 4 games the rest of the way.
Agreed.
That's what I was going to ask you for what you think. What do you think on your way out? What do you think how do you think they finish the season?
They're going to win the East. They're going to win the East.
Yeah.
That people forget before COVID hit and all this jazz, they were 8-2 on top of the East. And I heard a national pundit say, "Oh, well, when KD was playing, the Brooklyn Nets were number 1." No, they weren't. Sixers were.
Right.
10 games in. Look it up. They were 8-2, number 1. I think the Brooklyn Nets were like 5th.
Yeah.
So I think the Sixers will end the season number 1 seed. And mark my words, the NBA and the Eastern Conference does not want that. If you saw that building last night.
I love it. That
was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, brother.
All right, fellas. Have a good one.
Rest up. Feel better, man.
Appreciate it.
Right. Rich.
Yes, sir.
I mean, listen, we talked about everything in terms of the last couple games, but like, what has stood out for you in terms of these last 3 games coming off the All-Star break?
Leadership, something that this team's been lacking for years. Just a guy to demand more, not like the pussyfooting bullshit, like the legit. Like he said last night to Tyrese Maxey, you gonna come play tonight?
Right.
That stands out because you need that veteran leadership. You need the guy who's going to call you out, not maliciously, but looking you in the eyes and go, "Yo, dude, we're professionals. Are you here to play? Are you here to win? Let's get going. What's up, Chris?"
And listen,
that's what I love to see. Playing organized sports growing up, you want that leader who's going to be vocal, but not diminish your self-esteem, not put you down, but be blunt with you. Hey, we have a job to do. Are you playing tonight or what? And Maxey responded and went nuts. That's what I love to see from veteran leadership, from an established guy who cares about his team. And you see how the city responds to that because everybody in the city loves James Harden.
Right. Yeah, no, listen, I mean, some of the things that stood out to me, seeing his James Harden's ability to affect the spacing and pacing on the floor is the reason why Maxey can get anywhere he wants now, because there are plays where there's no one within 5 feet of him.
Yeah.
You give him that amount of space and he's gone. Like the play that I love, Rich, that I'm falling in love with is not the step back. It's the pocket pass.
Yeah.
That pocket pass, where he dribble drives into the lane, stops on a dime, turns around and dishes to whoever's going to cut in the lane. It's quietly becoming one of my favorite plays to watch because you can see everything develop.
Yeah.
The step back, you can kind of see when it's coming.
Yeah. But it still can't be stopped.
And that's crazy, man. And to see now Embiid incorporate the step back, Maxey incorporate the step back, like he's having more of an effect. And let's not forget, we are 3 games into this journey.
Yeah. It's going to be a hell of a ride. And come playoff time, the Sixers are going to be a tough team to beat. I love the fact that they went out and are getting DeAndre Jordan because Willie Cauley-Stein needs to go. Millsap is just not even serviceable. Yeah. I still love B-Ball Paul. I still like Bassey. But give me DeAndre Jordan for 8 minutes in the playoffs, grabbing boards, blocking 2 shots. That's all I need because Joe's not coming off. But, man, if I have to see Willie Cauley-Stein for more than a minute, that's just too much for me.
Well, Rich, I think you saw the when you only see him for the last 4 minutes of a game where the game is out of hand. I think they kind of saw and in those small pockets of time, you saw him be slow, get beat by guys that are...
Yeah, he doesn't even look like an NBA player. He doesn't look like the Willie Cauley-Stein who came from, what was it, Memphis? Where did he come from? Memphis or Kentucky? One of those schools. He doesn't look like the same guy. He doesn't look like the same guy who entered the league. Like, I'm good. I'm glad they gave him that 10-day contract to maybe find something, but they didn't. So you bring in DeAndre Jordan. It just solidifies that bench and solidifies that backup center spot. I mean, he's not the greatest. He's maybe a little washed, but he's going to be serviceable enough to get you boards and blocks. So I'm extremely happy with the way this is shaping out.
Yeah, and Embiid has continued on that MVP trajectory. And Adam, I agree with you. The way that the floor is now opening up for him, right? The post game quote at the end of the game. I think it was at the end of the Knicks game, or maybe it was Minnesota. One of those 2 games where they're interviewing and he goes, "I've never been this wide open."
Yeah,
right. For him to have that space to now operate, and Rich, in trying to cut up the highlights of the games before Harden was here, it was pretty easy to try. Like it was mostly Embiid stuff with a handful of Maxey stuff, and then maybe some other guys mixed in. Now I'm like, oh shit! Like
I gotta
cut out some stuff I don't really want to.
It's a 13-minute highlight video.
Like, yeah, I'm like, how do I get this into 2 minutes and 20 seconds? But it's a good problem to have, right? Because you're seeing that production on almost every possession. I think what T. Will brought up late, right as he was getting out, was like that. He got last night kind of too cute, right? With that, as close as he could get to that all bench lineup.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't go back to that and keeps this as a 7-8 guy rotation.
That's what worries me. I mean, he can't
Chris,
do that in the playoffs because it killed us.
You're a great fan and a great contributor, but Chris, I don't need to see Charlie Brown Jr. Charlie Brown Jr. is on his best day a productive bench guy. He's not even close to what you would get for the production of Tobias Harris on a good day.
Sorry, Chris.
Sorry, Chris. Sorry to disappoint you.
Get your head out of the gutter there.
Apparently, I got my
Boss
head in the
lady.
gutter. The boss lady thinks the pocket pass sounds naughty.
John, I think you should go downstairs. Bud. Hey, yo.
Hey, yeah, watch out. All right, so Rich, looking ahead, we brought up we touched a little bit on the upcoming schedule, right? They got a nice testable couple 4-game stretch, right? They're going to play Cleveland on Friday, Miami on Saturday, back to back.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
Right, and then they play Friday, Saturday, Monday.
Ooh.
Cleveland, Miami, Chicago. Now it's Cleveland home at Miami, and then home for Chicago, home for Brooklyn.
Okay.
That is going to be a really good barometer because the level of competition obviously is going to step up, right? It's no secret that the Minnesota and New York are not bastions of defensive prowess here.
Yeah.
So, but I think he's right. Like you look at, and if I go down, it's hard to pick out losses, right? Seeing how this team is playing, you're now like, all right, well, if I look at the East, Rich, and I look at the guys that we would match up against, right? If I look at Miami, does Bam Adebayo and Kyle Lowry scare you?
No, not at all.
Right? If I look at Chicago, does Nick Vucevic and Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan scare you?
We own them this year. No.
Right. Does anybody – I mean, Cleveland is a young, up-and-coming team, but, nobody on that team is going to match up with Embiid.
No.
Jared Allen is not matching up with Embiid. Daniel Tice is not matching up with Embiid.
Yeah.
The only team, Rich, that I really think is going to give them a run in the East is Milwaukee.
Yeah, that'll be tough. Milwaukee's always tough. I mean, we beat them for the first time since 2017, a few weeks ago. They're going to be tough because Giannis is tough, but we also have the beard. So add that element of scoring, add the element of floor spacing that he brings. It's a whole new Sixers team. It's a whole new Sixers team. Like you just look at the energy level and you look at the floor spacing and you look at how wide open guys are just because of James Harden. The only person who could kill the Sixers is Doc Rivers and his stupid ass lineups. That's the only way. I'm telling you, that's the only way the Sixers will lose. If he does the dumb shit when it takes him 4 minutes to put the starters back in after we were up 20 and now we're down 6, then we're going to have a problem. That's how I see, and I'm completely with T. Will. That's how I see us losing. We lost that way to the Hawks. We blew games the series beforehand because of that.
It's that, Rich, it's that adage of like getting caught watching a game.
Yeah.
Right. You sit back and you're watching a game. Like there were plenty of times last night where I'm like, all right, I know it's the Knicks. But I'm like, all right, like right in the middle of that second quarter, I'm like, okay, like, the meme, the stick figure meme where he's like poking something, like do something. Like I'm sitting there going, yo, Doc, like do something. Call a timeout, sub somebody in, change the lineup up, do something. But to leave those guys on the floor for that stretch of time let the Knicks extend the lead. Right? If you do that against the Knicks, it's fine because they were able to mount a comeback, make up that deficit and take the lead early in the fourth quarter. But if you get down 16 to Miami, to Chicago, I'm not going to say it's impossible to go back and grab the lead from them. But it's going to be that much. You're going to make the job that much more harder.
It's going to be hard. I agree.
And the other thing, Rich, is that now they have guys that can stop runs, right? Having Harden on the court now, right? It allows them to have another guy other than Embiid that can stop the run and get those guys. Like it allows teams to not extend the leads from 6 to 10 to 12.
Yeah.
Right? They have, even though they might be trading 3s for 2s, you're still not allowing the teams to extend those leads.
Yeah. And you have 2 guys who can constantly get to the foul line, which is phenomenal.
That's the other thing. Like
they'll shoot 50 free throws between each other, and they both shoot 90% and over from the line. It's easy points. Like they're going to be a tough team to beat with everybody on that team can shoot foul shots now. You're not going to be able to do hack-a-ben. You're not going to waste time in the first quarter and get killed by 3s and then get hack-a-ben. Right. Like those days are over.
Right. And I heard an interview
for this team
with Legs. With Tim Legler was on with Gargano today and was talking about the fact that those guys are as aggressive as they are and that they're getting the foul calls early now allows guys like Tobias Harris that if there's a ticky-tack foul with him, he's now going to the line.
Yeah.
Right. So that gives him more of an opportunity to get into rhythm at the foul line earlier on in the game. Their ability to be able to attract fouls not just helps them get to the line, but it's helping their teammates get to the line. And you're also getting those breaks, Rich, in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
Right. So every time they're getting a foul shot, right, it's 2-minute, 3-minute break. That over the course of the game is going to add up really quickly.
Agreed.
Rich, anything else? Anything else you want to throw bouquets at anybody else?
Dude, throw a bouquet at Matisse because that dude and his defense, good God. Good God. Love the way this team looks right now. I'm not going to wait for him. So cautious Harden's history.
Yeah.
But he's never played with Joe. He's never
played with a guy that had he played with Durant.
Who's a crybaby bitch.
Tell me how you really feel, Rich.
He is.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Harden left OKC because he had to deal with Russell Westbrook's bullshit and then Kevin Durant being this passive-aggressive fucking dickhead who just takes to burner accounts on Twitter to fucking bash his teammates and to make himself look better. There's nothing more that I don't respect than a guy who can't own up to his own shit and who acts like a fucking baby. Like when Charles Barkley was trying to talk to him, he just had to tell him and said, "Moo, moo," and they're like, "Oh, okay." It's like, "Oh, you're mad I criticized you and this is how you act?" That's the thing spoiled children do. And that's the thing that I don't like about KD. Everybody wants to get away from you, dude. Everybody wants to get away with you. You had to join up with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and ride their coattails to championships. And now you're the man on the Nets and you're not winning championships. Is it you, Kevin, or is it everybody around you? Because I'm going to say Kevin. I'm going to call you Kevin.
Okay.
It's you, Kevin. You are the problem, Kevin. And that's the thing that pisses me off because, yes, Harden gave up because that Rockets team was fucking atrocious that he single-handedly took to the playoffs for how many years. Then he thinks it's a good idea to go to Brooklyn, which is not that smart because you remember the reasons why you left playing with KD. And look at Russell Westbrook and how he's being treated the Lakers. The Lakers are like, why the fuck do we pick this guy up? Oh, because LeBron wants to play GM. I am not cautious because I don't think Harden will quit on this team, and that could just be me being naive because there's a difference between playing in Houston and Brooklyn and then playing in Philadelphia, where it's a place that matters. It's a place where the fans will bleed for you if you give us something in return, something that 2-5 couldn't do for us, but we still stood behind him until things got really shitty. Harden will be okay because the fans have his back. He has his back. Well, yeah. Okay, Chris Paul, yes, he's a legit professional.
Yes.
But he also has not accomplished a championship either. And you're running 2 guards with nothing else. Like, that team really was not that good.
Yeah, I mean, who was playing center on that team? Was that
Capella? It was Capella.
Yeah, Clint Capella.
Like, that team had no chance in the West. Like, absolutely zero chance in the West. But yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, Mike. But I'm not tipping my cap. I love Chris Paul, I do. But he's another guy who's allergic to a championship. I mean, that Suns team was phenomenal last year, and they lost to the Hawks. And I still don't think the Hawks were that good. We just choked it away because Glenn Rivers forgot how to coach. It happens, man. It happens. Sometimes you do stupid shit and you pay for it.
Oh God, it really does.
And that's life.
That's life. I feel like we gotta have some Sinatra on there.
And that's life.
That's life.
And that's what
All right,
we do.
Rich. You right? Let's mix it up a little bit. Give me a number.
Fuck, I forgot to look it up. Let me give you a number.
You had one job.
Oh, Don, I'm terrible.
You want to do one together?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do one together. Let's
All
do
right.
12.
12. I'm terrible with numbers. I don't know, Don. I'm really bad with numbers. Like, I'm not even going to lie. I don't pay attention.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
Kelly Green, Eagles.
Randall Cunningham?
There you go.
Okay.
Late 90s, early 2000s Flyers. Forward.
Simone Gagne.
There you go.
Ooh.
There you go. 2 for 2. Here we go. Current Sixer.
Okay.
Old number.
Current Sixer, his old number?
Mm-hmm.
Joel Embiid.
No.
Furkan Korkmaz.
No.
Danny Green.
No.
Matisse Thybulle.
No.
I don't know, Don. I just don't know.
Tobias Harris.
Tobias Harris.
When he first got traded.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Wait, no, that's his current number. When he first got traded, he wore 33.
Let me look.
Oh, Rich.
Yes.
I'm going to give you there's a process guy.
Okay.
Actually, there's 2 process guys. One
Ish Smith.
was a top 5 pick who never amounted to anything.
Nerlens Noel?
No.
Top 5. Oh, Markelle Fultz.
Nope. Ohio State.
Evan Turner?
Yeah. Evan Turner wore number 12. And Rich, your favorite do everything point guard from Pittsburgh. Tiny little white guy.
Oh, TJ McConnell.
There he is.
No.
And if we want to go back into the annals, Rich, we can go Johnny Dawkins. We can go Gerald Henderson. We can go World B. Free.
World be free. Averaged
Yeah,
20,
we have
like
a
1
lot
point
of,
in his career. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Don. I'm going to look up a number for you next week
All right.
because I fucked up. But let's play a different game. Let's play.
Yeah.
I'm going to play. Where did they go?
Ooh. I love
Sixers
these.
on the Sixers roster.
On the Sixers roster. Here we go.
All right, let's start out with James Harden.
James Harden went to Arizona State.
Yes, sir. Let's go with Paul Millsap.
Oh, Jesus. I feel like he went to like a Marquette.
No, No, that little down south there, boy. Down south.
Oh, like Ole Miss. South, more south.
A little over. In the bayou.
Oh, was he LSU guy?
He's Louisiana,
Oh,
but
Louisiana
he's
Lafayette.
Louisiana Tech University.
Ooh, he's a La Tech.
He's La Tech.
Okay.
Let's go with George Niang.
Oh, Jesus. I feel like he went to like a New Mexico State, something like that, something out west.
North. Shoot up north. Directly north.
Montana,
Okay.
Idaho.
Over a little bit.
Oh,
Iowa State.
Iowa State. Oh, he's a Cyclone. Damn it.
Charlie Brown Jr.
Jesus. I got no idea.
St. Joe's.
St. Joe's. Oh, I should know that.
You should know that. St. Joe's 2016, 2019. Let's go with Charles Bassey.
Old Miss.
Nope. A little bit this way, heading towards the East Coast.
Is he like a UNC Wilmington?
A little,
Is he a Seahawk?
a little to the left, to the left, a little bit.
Is he a Chapel Hill kid?
They're good fried chicken,
Oh,
but it's the West Side,
my God.
Western Kentucky University.
Western Kentucky. Okay.
All right, I'll give you two more. Let's go with Shake Milton.
Shake Milton went to. Damn it. It's the kind of thing where you know these things and then you're on the
Southern
spot.
Methodist.
Southern. Oh, he went to SMU.
Yep.
He was there with Larry Brown.
Yep. And last but not least, Danny Green.
Danny Green was a North Carolina kid.
Yep, UNC. Good
Tobias
job, man.
Harris went to Tennessee. Embiid went to Kansas. Maxey went to Kentucky.
Yep.
Let me give you all the guys I know.
Where'd Thibault go?
Thibault was a Washington.
Yeah.
He's a Husky.
Oh, I forgot he was there with Jerkoff.
Yeah, he was there with Futz.
Yeah. And how about Miles
Or-
Powell?
I have no idea. I
Big
literally
East.
didn't make
Big East school.
Big East St. John's,
Nope.
UConn.
Nope. SH.
Oh, Seton Hall.
Yep. Good
Oh,
stuff, John. Good stuff. That was
that was
fun.
fun.
That was
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely.
We'll do Eagles next time.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We'll do that going up, leading up to the draft. That'll be fun.
I like it. Let's do
I
it.
love that.
Let's do it.
All right, Rich. Final thoughts. Let's get out of here.
Final thoughts. Anybody who knows who's going to win the NCAA tournament, just let me know, because I'm literally just watching my first college basketball game of the year, and it's Ohio State beating Michigan State. That's all I know, because I literally don't watch college basketball. I wish I could. It's one of those things that I do enjoy college sports, but most of the time my life is taken up by either YouTube Kids or a Netflix show that I'm trying to catch up on because I keep falling asleep watching it because I'm getting up early for work. So that's my TV.
I think it's also a product of the fact that we're in the Northeast. The college sports is not a huge thing in the Northeast.
No, because we don't really have I don't have many teams that resonate with me.
Yeah.
That I'm not a Rutgers fan. I fucking hate Rutgers. I like Temple, but I don't love Temple. Penn State's all the way out there. I'm not a big Penn State fan. Villanova, yay, when they're doing well.
I love it.
I have no ties, you know? My basketball team's Louisville. because I like Louisville. But
like it.
I don't know what the fuck they're doing because I stopped. David Padgett's not there anymore.
Right.
Like Earl Clark is gone. Like I don't know any of these guys. Miami, the U baby, all day for football.
Yeah, you're a big U guy.
But I really haven't but I'm grasping at straws when it comes to watching college sports in, like you said, in the Northeast, because there's not really much for us to like root for around here, like college wise, because we don't have those big schools that can compete around here against the powerhouses. So it's kind of a different thing. We just stick to our Flyers, our Sixers, our Phillies, and our Eagles. So you're right, John.
It is.
That was my final thought. Give me winners.
All right. The best thing that the Flyers have done this year, I'm going to give them a shout out for. This evening, in pregame, as the guys were walking in, they are wearing sweaters from high school kids that are on teams that are playing in the Flyers Cup, which I thought was super cool.
Nice.
Right? They had, I'm looking at Giroux wearing a St. Joe's Prep jersey. You got guys that are wearing, CB East and all. Imagine you, Rich, as a high school kid, and you got a picture of of a guy on your favorite team, your hometown team, wearing your jersey.
I know that's pretty dope.
It was it would be a huge deal. So just
I would die.
They did a great job, fantastic job on them. So probably one of the best things that the Flyers have done all year long, because everything on the ice is crap. So just huge shout out to the Flyers. And Rich, before we get out of here, I got to bring up Mike's. I was going to bring this up at the end, Mike. So the guys at Flyered Up have something really cool going on Twitter. So if you have not seen or heard about what they're doing, they have a March Madness most beloved Philly athlete going on. They're doing I think they got 4 or 5 polls a day. They got 16 Sixers, 16 Phillies, 16 Flyers, 16 Eagles.
It's going to be Carson.
They're going to. Listen, they're doing it's a great thing. It's a great conversation piece. So just huge shout out to them for if you haven't checked out their stuff, go over there, go vote each day. They're putting out 4 or 5 polls a day. So just fun, lots of fun stuff. We didn't get a chance at the beginning, but shout out to our sponsors, Lots of Rain Luxury Watches. Check them out. Go check out their content, and then go check out Team Clicks. They got some super cool sports themed sunglasses. Rich,
it's been fun, my brother.
It's been great. If you're missing this and you're catching this on the podcast and you want to watch the show back, you can catch this episode on Tiki Live at noon on Saturday. And Rich, this show and all of our future shows are also going to be on the Belly Up Radio Network, the Burns Radio. So we're going to have our stuff. You're going to find it here. You're going to find it on all your podcasting platforms. You're going to find it on Tiki Live. You can find us everywhere. Go check out our merch store. We got the Fear the Beard shirt. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Listen, the comments were great. The tune in was great. Huge shout out to Big T Will for hopping on for those couple minutes.
Philly full court press, baby.
Philly full court press. If you have not seen or heard that content, you are missing out.
Him and Mike,
check those guys out. Enjoy. Check out the guys that Flyered Up, the guys at the Vet Alumni. There's Chip. I was on with Chip on Monday night on his Monday night show. Yeah. A lot of good original content. Go check out your local podcast. Everybody have a great night. We will talk to you later.
Later, Philly and world.